So now, how is a lexeme arranged on Wikidata? So the first thing you see in a lexeme is the name of the lexeme. So for this lexeme, the name of the lexeme is thread. Okay, thread, and it's in English. And the lexical category is it's a verb. All right. There are other things which help, like explain what this lexeme is. But then there's also this part which talks about the sense, and then this part which talks about the form. It says thread is a verb and it is simple present, and then when you want the third person singular or simple present, it's threads, and the past participle in English is trod, and the present participle is threading, and I hope you are getting the drift. So all these are forms of this word, this lexeme called thread, because it's a verb. Okay, so we'll be doing something very similar in our WikiData Lexeme editathon for the month of July. You don't need to worry about a lot of this information. We would provide you an Excel sheet where you find everything you need to know. Okay, so all you need to know is where to put what, and that is literally what we are going to take you through. I'm taking you through in this training. So let's assume that you are on Wikidata and now you want to create a Wikidata Lexeme for the project we are going to be working on. So to create a Wikidata Lexeme, you just come to the far left hand side. It says create a new lexeme. Please, if you're using your phones to do the editing, make sure you what do you call it? Make sure you see that part at the bottom here that says desktop view. I'm using my laptop right now, so it's saying I can switch to mobile view. But if you were using your phone, you would have desktop view here. So make sure you enable desktop view, right? So that you'll be seeing it like you are seeing it right now, so you don't get confused. So on the far left hand side, you see create a new lexeme, so you just click on it. So it says we can create a new lexeme. So the lemma is the word that you are going to be creating. You see they've given an example like cat. All right. So let's say, for instance, the lexeme we are creating is does anybody have an example they want to give? Let's say it's Edro. Oh. Edro. Can I go with Edro? Can I go with Edro? Yes. Okay, I'm not seeing any hands up. It's fine. Let's say it's Edro. So what is the lexeme's language? Edro is Twi, right? So you just type TWI and you see Twi. Please do not choose Akan. Please do not choose Akan. We are dealing with Twi, which is the dialect of the Akan language in Ghana. All right, so just select Twi. And then what is the lexical category? This is asking whether this lemma it's a noun or it's a verb or it's an adjective or a pronoun or a preposition, the part of speech that the lemma falls into. Okay, so Edro is a noun, so you just type noun and you select it. All right, so when you start typing, the drop down comes, you select it. So please, the noun we are choosing is the first one, not the second one. Even though it also says noun, this is referring to Department of Cameroon, which is not what we are using. We are using the first one, where the that functions as the name of a specific object or set of objects. So we click on that, and then when we are done, we just click create lexeme. Okay, so we create the lexeme, and then voila, it comes. As simple as that. So you see, the word draw has appeared just like we saw for thread, and the code for this is what is on the left hand side. It starts with an L, so it's a lexeme. The lexeme is up here, so it shows us that it's a lexeme. The language is TW, which is tree. The lexical category is a noun. So at this point, you are on a very good path. We are going to be providing you with the lemma, okay? And I think as much as possible, almost all the lemmas we will be giving you are nouns. So the first part of what we did is not going to change. The only thing that's going to change is just the name of the lemma. All right. So you are still going to choose tree for the language. You are going to choose noun for the lexical category. All right. So once you are done with this, the next thing is to try and explain what this lemma is about. And that is what the statements are going to do. So to add a statement, just click add statement. It opens up, and we add a statement. So so let's see, do we have Ebenezer on the call? No, we don't. Jemima, do you remember the word we worked on the last time?
Let me search for it. Why?
Okay, thank you. Please give me some few minutes. I'm just, because some few seconds, I'm just trying to see if we could find the lemma, one of the lemmas we've worked on, so that we could just do some copy and paste. Please, Wikipedia is one of the platforms which encourages copy and paste in a very nice format. So, copy and paste, when I say copy and paste, you understand. Okay. Okay, I have one of the lemmas, so let's work with that. Somebody just sent me a lemma. So L68, I have the code L68, 67, 69. Yeah, but it's in Telegram. I don't want to open my Telegram. L68, 67, 69. L68 and 69. Yeah. So let's search for it. Oh, shoot. Shoot, 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 shoot. You see what I just did? Okay, let's go back to our Edro. All right. Oh, I'm not finding the
Okay, so Yvonne, I think it was an head, or was it a head?
it's yes, 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 yes. Thank you,
Animal,
thank
a
you.
head of an animal,
Yes,
a head.
yes, thank you. Okay, so let me try and find back. Please, I'm teaching you a very important skill that you will need. So don't think I'm just searching for something. I'm actually teaching you a skill that is very important. Um, so, okay, somebody just sent me.
Okay, so I think Abigail has posted
Yes.
something. I
All right.
don't know if
Thank
it's
you.
the one we
Thank you,
worked on.
Jemima. It's another one, but thank you. It will work perfectly. All right. So, what are we learning from what I am doing? Please, if you want to do your work, when you start working on your work, you don't have to cram like these statements, like the things you're supposed to do, into your head. Please, you don't need to chew it. You don't need to write it. You don't need to do anything. All you need to know is an example that somebody has already done or that we have already done and we have published. And they are plenty. So for instance, this one is an example. Okay. There's an example. There's a lemma that has been created like a long time ago. The last edit was 11 months ago. In fact, I was the same person who did it. So all you need to do is find something like this. All right. And then what we are going to do is we are just going to follow how the things have been done here. And then you also do it for the one that you are working on. Okay. So the link to these pages, like the ones we've already done, we can share it with you. All right. So that when you are doing your work, you just need to open it in a different tab. Just look at what has been done. You come to your tab and then you do the same thing, right? As easy as ABC. That's what I refer to as copy and paste. In case you take me out of context. So for our word, we said a draw, right? So we are trying to find what's next. So we are supposed to add a statement. So which statement are we supposed to add? It says we should add a statement has quality. So you type in the box. Please let me go back so that you saw what I. To add a statement, this was how it was looking. You click add statement, the box opens up, then you type has. When you start typing, it should pop up. Then you just select it. Okay. Now Abacosem has quality inanimate because it is a Abacosem. It is it means history, right? It is a noun, but it's referring to an inanimate. It's a part of speech that refers to an inanimate, something which is inanimate. A duo is also a noun and it equally refers to something which is inanimate. So if it's inanimate, we just type inanimate and it should pop up and you just select it. So inanimate, grammatical and or semantic category of noun. So just select it. And then you click publish. And then that's it. You are done for this statement. So when do you choose animate? Animate is usually used for um, grammatical those grammatical those lexemes which refer to animate objects. So for instance, like aboa is an animate lexeme, nipa is an animate lexeme, abofra is an animate lexeme. Okay, but things like akonya, kukuo, school, those are inanimate objects, lexemes, because they refer to inanimate objects. So I hope that is clear. So let's go back to our Abacosem and see what else we can add. So we have the has quality, we have the usage example. But before we go to usage example, I think we can add something else, which we call the grammatical gender. This one, grammatical gender. So in case you are not aware, our not our languages, certain languages have grammatical gender. If you should remember a bit of your French, you realize that in French, when you were being taught, you were taught that certain words are feminine gender, certain words are masculine gender. It doesn't mean that the words refer to something which is feminine or something which is masculine. Okay, so for instance, in French, table is referred to as la table, which means that it is a feminine gender. But table table we know is inanimate, so it is trying to tell you that it is not referring to the thing that the lexeme is naming, but in that language, in that particular language, that lexeme, which is tab or table, is referred to as a female grammatical gender or a feminine grammatical gender. Okay, I know it will be very difficult for you to, it might be a bit difficult for you to wrap your mind around it, because in both English and Twi, we don't have anything like that. We don't have grammatical gender for words. Okay, so it might be a bit difficult. But when you start learning certain foreign languages like French, like German, they usually have a lot of these grammatical genders. So if you don't understand it, please don't crack your head about it. We do not, the point is, we do not even have it. So we are not even going to use feminine or masculine. It is if we were editing in those languages, then we'll be worried about it. But we don't even have, we do not have at all. The explanation was just for you to appreciate what I'm trying to explain. Okay, so don't worry about it if you don't understand it. If you want to understand it, go and learn a foreign language. Sign up and learn a foreign language. Learn French or learn German. You would appreciate what grammatical genders mean when you start learning those languages. So for us, since we do not have, all our grammatical genders are neuter. It means that it is neither masculine or feminine, it's neutral. Okay, and for every single lexeme that you all will be working on, the grammatical gender of that lexeme will be neuter. We will all be choosing neuter, because in the Twi language, we don't have grammatical gender for words. Words are not categorized as masculine or feminine. All right. Okay, so once you put this here, you just click publish, and then it is published. Okay. Up to this point, do we have some confusion? If you are confused, you can raise up your hand and then you can try and address your confusion. Eunice, yes, please. It is being recorded. Rebecca, yes, inanimate objects do not have life in them, but animate things have life in them. Exactly, exactly. Is there anybody who is confused? Okay, I'm not seeing any hands up, so I'll assume we are all fine up to this point. We all don't have issues. Did somebody raise their hand? Nana team. Okay, Nana, please, you can ask your question.
Madam Yvonne,
Yes, please, we can hear you.
can you? Yeah, I want to know the statement. Will you write in English or Twi? Because the lexicon is in Twi. So the statement, will you
Yes,
write in Twi or English?
yes. So, one thing about WikiData, things like this, You see, when we did, they became in blue. Things like this, you are not typing it. They already exist on Wikidata. You are just selecting it. And Wikidata's platform, even though we are working on a keyword, these things are in English. So you'll be selecting them in English. You're not going to be typing them in Twi. You'll be doing them just as I have done it. The only thing that will be Twi from what we have done so far is just the name of the lexeme, which is Ebro. Everything else is literally English. Does it answer your question? If I may add, the reason why we are doing this lexeme, let's remember the background I gave. The reason why we are doing this is for the machines to what understand. So these lexemes are not being done for human beings to read. It's for computers to understand. You get me? So for the computer, it understands these things in English. If you type these things in Cree to the computer, it won't understand, because these are already created, shall I say, standards that have been created for the computer. So you are just attaching this to this lexeme so that the computer understands that, okay, if I see this lexeme, it means that it is an inanimate lexeme. The computer then understands that, okay, because of what you have done here, it means that this lexeme, in the language that it is coming from, which is Twi, it is under the grammatical category of neutral lexeme. It is neither masculine nor feminine, it is neutral. I hope you get the explanation. Nana Simpson. Nana, we can't hear you in case you are saying something. Okay, so I can't hear Nana Simpson, so I would assume that. But does anybody else have another question up to this point? If not, I would assume that we are all fine and then we can move forward. Yes, Eunice, please ask your question.
Please, my network is messing up a bit. So I didn't get the explanation you did for Nana Sinti.
Okay, so I was saying that, remember the background I gave. The reason why we are doing Wikidata is for computers to understand. Okay, so computers, this thing we are doing is for the computer to understand that this lexeme called a draw, it is an inanimate lexeme. It's a lexeme for an inanimate object. Let me say it that way. It's a lexeme for an inanimate object. Now, this second statement helps the computer understand that this lexeme a draw in the language Twi is
Hello.
yes, please. Hello, who said hello? Was it Eunice? Guys, I think so that we don't have a lot of we don't delay. Okay.
Okay.
Remember you have to thank you. So send a and call you soon. Like if you so Eunice, your network is very bad. And because of that, you might have to maybe re-listen to the recording. Because I think the others can hear me clearly, right? Can okay. So the others can hear me very clearly. So if you know your network is bad, please you might have to re-listen to the recording after this presentation. Because if not, we will be trying to answer your question. You can't hear us, and we're doing a lot of back and forth, and we'll waste a lot of time. So please, I beg, I'm pleading with you. If your network is bad, please get the recording after this and then replay it, or get somebody who was on the call to like take you through again too, so that you are clear. I'm so sorry. I have to make this suggestion. All right. So, but I guess everybody else is fine. Into a bit near to us on I speak a lot more English than Tree nowadays. I have some. Okay. In the end, to us, into Lexeme no a draw. All right. Or the lemma is a draw. Kasana yatro muni tree. The category is noun. First statement has quality. It is so inanimate because a draw refers to an inanimate object. Grammatical gender, it is so neuter because in the tree language, our words or our lemmas do not have a grammatical gender. They are all neutral. All right. Into why we not they will continue and add other things to it. So the next thing we can add is the sense. All right. The sense is referring to the meaning of the lemma. The meaning of the lemma. Into word now we are human as a person. Into the first one is to give as a channel in tree because a tree word human. Into semu hunyame na amenko back. A click under sense, not statement. Under sense, add sense. Me click add sense and away by. First thing will become language. Just tree. It was a tree into bracket TW aba. Ma select here. Okay. After my next box, so I say gloss. Gloss nature the meaning of the word into a draw as a saying. Breathe yeah the sorry. Yeah this yeah right. So as a child meet me man from the tree language the best would have been say anka tree dictionary and the anka say tree dictionary and define the word a draw me yabe copy ne yabe paste ha but as it stands now we need tree dictionary I have to define it for my head. It is also say in the Excel sheet if we can put the meaning there, but if we can't, and the empatry like please, I know you guys are scholars. Tree nimbiano, a bromediano like 500 times. You can give very good definitions for the words that I cannot even give. Please, munye very nice job at this section for us. The ones what they gloss, which is the meaning that come home, then you just click what publish, right? And then you publish it. That's all, like as simple as that. Nti so obi bie saa Lexeme we a oba fam onim say tree mu no eche bibi a de area. Right? Okay. Now you per se add another language which is English because then ebema aye easy. Oh sorry. Ebema aye easy ama other people who are non-tree speakers to understand. Into not the first one I click, but rather edit. You click on edit, and then under the two boxes, no be near friend add no. Then you click on that. Then another box will open underneath the first two boxes. In Hano, First one a tree. It's with in English. I think it's the first one. All right. Then English, no. English, no. What's the meaning of a draw? An item so for curing or preventing diseases or alleviating symptoms. Okay, so once we are done, we just click publish and voila, it has been published. And because Wikidata is based on English, like always, it would put the English definitions first before it puts the other languages. So don't be surprised when this happens when you publish. In English, the word "edro" means an item for curing or preventing disease or alleviating symptoms. In Twi, be as simple as that. Yeah. And so once you've added this sense, no, anybody who like comes to this page or anybody who comes to this Wikidata Lexeme page and sees this realizes that, oh, word way so on to mean bomb pokra or better as you say you're referring to medicine, right? So then why don't we add like an image of medicine so that it makes the explanation very clear? Okay, so then to add an image we go to add statement, right? Please, you realize that it says statement about L11 hyphen S1, so add statement. So when we click add statement, then we just do image. A drop down will come. Choose the drop down, which is the image, and then we put an image of medicine. Let's see if we can find an image of. Oh yeah, medicine refers to the practice of medicine. Let me see drugs. Proof. Or medication. Do medication? Yeah, I think this one. This one is even perfect. This, and then we publish. Please, the name of the this is the name of the image. How do you know is the name of the image? Because you are seeing .jpg, which is .jpeg, which is a file format, which stands for images. The name of the image doesn't necessarily have to be linked to the word you are writing about. It is rather the image that it gives you that should be linked. Okay, so for instance, this one, the name of the image says various pills. When I publish, the image is what? An image of pills, of tablets, of there's nobody in this world who will not understand this as medicine. That is what we want to achieve. So the image we are adding there is an image that helps to explain the sense that you are referring to. Something that is used in treating diseases. So we know that things that are used in treating diseases are pills, tablets, those kinds of stuff. Okay. Okay, so I hope that's clear. You can add as many images as you would want, because all of this is supposed to help explain the sense of the lemma edro. I have another. Let me see if I can add that to edit. Add value. So I'm adding another image. I think there's an image of traditional medicine. Yeah, traditional medicine items. Voila. So here in our part of the world, we don't only use pills and tablets for treating diseases. I know we use this kind of stuff also, herbs and we use herbs and sometimes even shells of animals and like lots of stuff. So for us, no, we do a lot of herbal medicine, and it also explains that yeah, when you come to Africa, it's not just pills and tablets. So how do you know the image? Like how do you know how to find the image? For the first information, for your first information, these images are coming from WikiCommons. They are not coming from Google. They are not coming from Pixar or any image hub. They are coming from WikiCommons. Okay, and it means that you can only add an image into Wikidata if the image exists on WikiCommons. So the search you are doing, you're just searching for images that are explaining your word, which are present on WikiCommons. How did I know this? Is because when this image was taken and it was uploaded, I was part of the process. So I know there's an image like this on WikiCommons. So it's either you know that an image like that exists, or if you don't know, you search like the way we search. If you are fortunate, you will find an image. If you're not fortunate, you will not find an image, because the images that are on WikiCommons didn't go on WikiCommons by accident. They were added by people. Okay, so if you don't find an image relating to what you are working on, it means that nobody has added an image on WikiCommons in relation to that. So it's either you take your phone, take a picture of that item, upload it to WikiCommons, and then come and add it. But if you don't want to go through the stress of taking your phone, taking a picture, and adding it to WikiCommons so that you can add it here, then it means that you have an image for the WikiData, for the Lexeme you are working on. Don't blame anybody. You can only work with what exists because somebody has added it. If it hasn't been added, it means that you can also add it. So if you won't also add it, then please, you won't have an image. As simple as that. Okay, but how to add the image, that is a different project. For those of you who joined the Guai Nubuke photo contest, I'm sure by now you know how images are added. Those of you who didn't join, I'm sorry. I am not here to teach that. Okay, so once you have added these, you realize that for this sense of the word lemma, it is very explanatory. Anybody who comes here gets to understand that, oh, okay. This is a drug, or these are like for treating diseases. Okay, so this lemma means something that is used for treating disease. Okay. The other benefit of adding the images is, I told you, apart from humans, machines are our main target, in fact, with Wikidata. So when you add images like this, it also helps the machine to also understand that when it sees items in relation to things like this lemma, which is a draw in the tree language, can be used to name those items. There's a lot of learning that there's a lot of information that you are helping the machine learn by doing this. So when you are adding the things, the question you can be asking yourself is, how is the machine going to use this information? It means that when the machine sees images, if you give a computer images, and this computer has access to Wikidata, when it sees images of this, something like this, and you ask it to give the tree name, it will write a draw, because you have taught it from here that a draw refers to drugs or pills or things used for treating diseases. I hope you are clear. Okay, so at this point, I would pause again. If anybody has a question, please ask your question. If you don't have a question, we would continue. Ebenezer, please ask your question. Hello, Ebenezer. We can't hear you speak. Can you ask your question? Okay. Okay. Let me try and attack the questions which are here. So Sarah asked, what about references? Yes, what about references? The good thing is Wikidata, if you look at what we have done so far, all the things we've added here, okay, didn't come from an external source. It's actually from Wikidata itself. All right. So adding references to this, like, yeah, we can add references to it, but it's for these kind of statements so far, it's not really necessary. You can choose not to add any reference and it's fine. Okay. We are going to look at a statement that we are going to add which requires a reference. That one, whether you like it or not, please add the reference for that statement. We've not done that yet. We are going to do that next. But so far, all that we've covered so far do not necessarily require references. So you can get away with that and nobody will complain. Ebenezer, please, what's your question?
Okay. I wanted to ask that, is it before when we're doing Wikipedia articles, before you start working on anything, you first search to see whether the article exists or not. Is it the same thing applies to Wikidata?
Yes,
And if
please.
yes, how do we know the difference between the Wikidata Lexeme and then the Wikidata item? Because when you open the platform, it's just like this. And when you search, how will you search whether it is a Lexeme or an item?
Yes, please. So there's a search engine that we use to search for whether Lexemes exist. I didn't mention it because I don't have the link at the moment, but we will look for the link and share it with you. So the same format that you go through for Wikipedia articles, when we share that link with you, make sure that every single Lexeme that you find in the Excel sheet, before you create, you search through that portal. If it exists, it will tell you the Lexeme already exists. If it doesn't exist, it will tell you it doesn't exist. I didn't do the search because we just want to understand how the Lexeme creation works. But we will share the link with you. So make sure you don't create a Lexeme without searching. If not, we are going to have doubles of Lexemes sitting on Wikidata, which is like a lot of wasted work. So when we share the link with you, please search first. That's your first task. Search. Make sure the Lexeme does not exist. If it doesn't exist, just like the way you are creating Wikipedia articles, it will ask you, do you want to create the Lexeme? Then you say, yes, you want to create. You click on the create Lexeme, and then it will start the whole process for you. Okay. So thank you, Ebenezer, for that very important question. Okay, if nobody else has any other question, I guess I will continue. Up to this point, if nobody else has any other question, I'll continue. Okay, so like I said, we are going on to another statement. And this other statement is also related to this same sense. Remember what I said a sense is? A sense is the meaning of the lexeme, the meaning of the lexeme. So we've explained the meaning, we've given the definition of the meaning in English and in Twi. We've given images of the meaning to help people appreciate or understand what the lexeme refers to. Now we want to give an example of how the lexeme is used with this meaning so that it will make the understanding very clear. The reason why we do this particular addition is because in Twi and many other languages, you could have a word that in one context means one thing, in another context, it means another thing. It's not just in Twi. A lot of languages have the same system. So if you use it in a particular context, in a particular sentence, it will mean something. If you use it in a different sentence, in a different context, it might mean something completely different from the first one. So the usage helps you to understand what that thing means. So we want to show that this is an example of a sentence in which this lexeme has been used, where it means medicine. But that's what we are referring to in this sense. This is sense one, where it means medicine. All right. So to add that statement, you say usage. Let me cancel this and then go back. So it's still add statement. All right. Not add sense, add statement. So you click on add statement and then you do usage example. Oh, QX can replacement. So I change it to English because I need an X. Example. Okay. Then you select the drop down that comes, usage example. All right. Oh shoot. They said I should use the usage example up there. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? So you see the drop down explains. It says example of how a lexeme might be used. Do not use this property on a sense, but instead a statement on the lexeme itself. So it means that we can't put a usage example here. So let's cancel this. It means that we have to put it here in this part, this first part, the statement part. So we'll put it here. So usage example. Okay. So now we're going to give an example of how the lexeme edro is used. This this part is a bit controversial, but that is what the documentation is telling us. So we have to work with it like that. The reason being that when you have a lexeme that has different meanings, if you put a user example here, it might not really achieve the purpose. But for this particular lexeme, do we have any other meaning apart from medicine for this lexeme? No, I don't think so. Edro is edro, right? Edro is medicine. It doesn't mean any other thing, right? Yeah. So we can put the usage example here and we are fine. If it meant other things, then we would have put it under the sense. But for this one, it means just one thing. So let me find a usage example. So at this point, the usage example part, you are going to put in a sentence or a phrase in which this lexeme has been used. How do you find a sentence or a phrase in which this lexeme has been used? Please, you just go to www, so in a different tab, globes, globse.com. You Google it, you DuckDuckGo it, whichever way you want to, whichever way you want to search for it, whichever search engine you are using, you Bing it, you Yahoo it, whichever search engine you are using. What is going on? Oh, Oh, I did WWT. Should have been 3 W's. So globes. Oh, okay. Okay. This is not what we are looking for. Oh, I did have okay. So let's just type globes bse.com. There are so many globes I think. So you Google it, you search, hey, why is it redirecting me to Russia? Have I sent them? Is it globes or globes? Oh, sorry, please. I was told that the spelling I'm using is wrong. Anything I'm able. It's GLOSBE. Glosbe. GLOSBE, not BSE. SBE. All right. So I already Christ. I'm making some very silly mistakes, which I am paying for it. Okay. So I just search for it in my search engine. It's my search engine. It's a duck. Don't ask me why it's a duck. But it's a duck. Yours might be Google or Bing. So just search for GLOSBE. So I've been typing the wrong thing, but I've been bringing me the correct thing. Okay. So if you type GLOSBE, you just click on it. And then up here, you see I've been doing a lot of English to Twi translation, so it's already there. Up here, you choose the language that you are going to translate from. And then the right hand side is the language you're translating to. So we are translating from English to Twi. So we are working with medication, right? Medication. And then Globes is like an online translator or dictionary, or I don't know how you are going to explain that. But you see that it says that the Globes translate for this word in Twi is Idro, right? Okay. So we are just looking for sentences in which the word has been used. That's why we are here. So Globes, in doing its translation, it gives you the English language on the left hand side and then the Twi language on the right hand side, because Globes appreciate the fact that words can mean different things in different contexts, right? So what you do is you just scroll through the examples it has given you, look for the English word you are looking for. I'm seeing medical. Okay, it's medication we are looking for. But then here it is plural. We are not looking for the plural form. We want the singular form. So let's keep going. Oh, okay. I think medication literally means plural form of drug. Okay. Let me try. In the English language, when you say drug, it's literally seen as cocaine. But I said it. No bunny. Medicine is seen as the practice of medicine. So let's see maybe. Okay, so medicine is a draw. Hallelujah. So now let's look for some of the usage examples, and then let's see. Perfect. Mommy gave me money for ice cream, but I decided to give it to you for medicine. Yeah. So the tree sentence says, Mommy scatter me fanto ice cream. Now so me imagine say me ma what they are taught to do. So this is a perfect example of a sentence in which the word a drew has been used. So all you do is you just copy this. So copy. You go back to your WikiData Lexeme and then you paste. As simple as that. It asks you for the language. As soon as you paste, it asks you what's the language you pasted in. So then you type what tree. And then you select the tree. And then voila, you are done. Now, after you are done with this, you have to add the reference because you need to show people where you got this sentence from. Okay. Now, the reference we are going to be stating is a URL. It's a reference URL because it's going to be in the format https globsb ////. This is a reference URL, right? So for the property, we'll type reference U. Okay. Reference URL, and then we go copy the https blah 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 up there, copy, we go to a draw and then we paste, and then when we are done we publish. So now we are trying to say that the word a draw, the usage example is this in tree. Okay, and this is the reference where it was taken from. So this part where you add the reference URL, where you add the usage example, please and please and please do not forget to add the reference. And adding the reference to is you've seen it's very simple. You click add reference, then you type reference URL, you select it, then in the right hand box you go and copy the URL up there, and then you come paste it in there, and then you click publish. It's as simple as that. Please, I hope you have been noting one thing about the work I'm doing. You realize that in Wikipedia, like you write everything before you click publish. But in Wikidata, every section has a publish right by the side. You get it? So as soon as you are done with that section, you click publish. When you move on to the next one, you click publish. The next one, you click publish. You keep publishing like that. You don't do all these boxes before you come and click, because there's no big publish up here. The publish come with the section. All right. So when you're done with the section, you click publish. If you made a mistake, you click remove. It will delete it from there. If you clicked on it by accident and you don't want to do anything to it, like what I have done, you just click cancel and then it goes back to the way it originally was. Okay. Now, so I guess for the work we'll be doing, we'll be giving you just one sense. Okay, we won't be giving you more than one sense. So your usage example should be here. Please, we beg you. Okay. It doesn't mean that if you want to add more senses, you can. You can. That is your own, under your own discretion. That's your own work. But for our work, our project purposes, we are just going to have one sense. We just have S1 statement about S1. That's all we are going to have. We are not going to have an S2. An S2 comes when you do this, add sense. Then you see this one has come. This is S2. You see it has come again like it came at the top when we began. There is an S2. Okay, we are not going to do an S2. We are just doing an S1. So our work is very, very simple. So when we are done with the sense, the last part of the lexeme that we are going to add is the form. All right. The form is referring to the various forms in which the lemma can be. What do I mean by that? if you remember the beginning of our presentation, we looked at the English lemma, and that lemma was a verb, and we saw that because it's a verb, you can have the present tense, you can have the past tense, you can have the past participle, past participle, past present participle, third person singular. I don't even know what to say. Those are the forms of that verb. But the lemmas we'll be working with are nouns. And for nouns, I know there are only two forms. It's either singular or it's plural. That's all. Baako for kabia and after dodo kabia. And no for nouns. We'll be adding the nouns, the forms under this section. So we saw the form they add account one. Under the name forms, you click on add form. Okay. And this is here, add form. Now we are going to add the form into a draw. The first form we can add is the singular form, right? So we can let's start from here so you understand it. So the first form is singular, right? Just say it's selected. This is the one we are referring to, singular grammatical number. So you select it. Into a draw tree kasemuno. The singular form of the word edro is edro. Then you click publish. Then now you will call the next one, which is the plural form. Another add form, and then now it is what the grammatical feature is what plural. So you select plural grammatical number, and the plural form of the word edro, this one I think was inuro, right? We had a lot of inuro, yeah, inuro. This one NNURU. So here NNURU, and then publish. Voila, we are done. And see what we have done, we've taught the computer a lot of things. That a draw is a noun in the Twi language. It refers to an inanimate object. In the Twi language, it is neutral. It is not, doesn't have a gender. This is how the word is used in the Twi language. This is what the word means. Okay, it means something for curing diseases in English and in the Twi language. And these are images that can be represented by that this word can explain, that are explaining the word. And then in the Twi language, the singular form of this word is edro, but the plural form of this word is inuro. As simple as that. So I hope it is clear. Let me stop again. Does anybody have any questions at this point? Does anybody have any question? If you have a question, you can raise up your hand. Okay, let me check the chat. Maybe we may have something there. Okay, we don't have any new questions. Does anybody have any questions for us? Okay, so I can happily assume that you have all understood this very, very well. It will be very easy for you to do the same thing when you are working on the project. and we won't have any issues. And you can equally teach other people. You can equally teach your mates and other people who will be working with you on the project. This is exactly the format we are going to be following for the work. This is exactly the format. Very simple, very, very simple work. So let me copy this, okay? And then we will share this. Let me even share it in the Google Meet chat so that those of you here, you can copy it and save it somewhere in your phone or in your laptop, or just save it, just in a notepad or something. Just save it on your device, because when you start the project, you like I said, just like we did for the abacus, just open this, okay? Just open it and just be following how the things have been arranged, and then you do the same thing. After you do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, like you'll not be looking at this anymore, because your brain would have gotten used to the arrangement. So after you repeat, you do it for like 5 lexemes, 6 lexemes, 10 lexemes, you won't be looking at this anymore, right? Once you start creating the lexeme, you will be answering it like very easily. You'll be creating it very, very easily. So keep that link so that when you are working, you can just look on it and then you just follow the format. All right. And then, like I said, we'll share the link that you would use to check and see if the lexeme already exists. We'll share that with you. I'll search for that. I don't have that now. So I'll search for that and then we'll share it with you. So at this point, I think if we do not have any more hands up, any more questions, we can happily call it a day, and then we will be done. Do we have any more questions? Any more questions? Yes? No? Okay. So I guess for the project, we will also, I should believe, or I should want to assume that we also have the dashboard where you can sign your name to the lexeme you have created on the dashboard, so that we know that you've already done that lexeme, so that other people do not do the same lexeme. Yeah, so that's one. I know most of you are already familiar with that, so it's nothing new to you. So we'll have a similar thing. Yeah, I think that is all for me. Jemima and my other team members who are here, does anybody have any additions for our audience here? Okay, Jemima says no, please. So at this point, oh, okay, Ebenezer, do you have something to say?
Yeah, Sister Yvonne.
Yes, please. I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to talk about the
Hmm.
contest. I'm sure we've already made a rule that you're going to divide it into two. So those from Winneba will be doing their separate, Winneba and the UCC, and those from KNS will be doing their separate. So I just wanted to repeat that one so that they would know that those from Winneba are not doing KNS's articles and those from KNS are not doing those from Winneba's article. That's what I wanted to repeat.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ebenezer, for reminding me of that. Yes. So this lexeme project, we want all of you, no matter the campus you are coming from, to really like grow your skills on Wikidata. Okay. It's like almost all the time we are working on Wikipedia. So most of you are very, very good on Wikipedia. but most of you have very little knowledge about how to edit on Wikidata. And the whole idea of this project is to ensure that by the end of this year, no matter what campus you are from, whether you are from Winneba or you are from Kumasi or you are from Cape Coast, I hear we now have Cape Coast students. Welcome to the team. No matter where you are from, by the end of this year, you would have had a feel of how Wikidata editing feels like. Okay, so we decided to separate the project. So there's one whole list, there's one sheet that will be for just KNUST students. It will be for just KNUST students. And there's another sheet of Lexeme that will be for the students from both Winneba campus and then Cape Coast. Okay, because your numbers are slightly lower than the KNUST one, so the two campuses are working on one sheet, so that we have all of you have like you have a feel of how it feels like. My KNUST people, I know they are very angry. So if I add Winneba editors to them, I know they will do all the work and my Winneba editors will not get anything. Will not get anything to do. All right, so we've separated it so that the aggressive KNUST people will have their own sheet, and then the rest of us, we can work on a separate sheet. So Jemima has just clarified that we also have some people who are outside KNUST, who are not in Winneba or UCC. So all of us who are not on KNUST campus, once we are not on KNUST campus, we also have another sheet for you. So whether Winneba, whether UCC, whether anywhere else, you'll be on a different sheet. So there are two different dashboards that will be running at the same time. So make sure wherever you are contributing is the correct dashboard. So if you're on KNUST, don't go and jump onto Winneba dashboard, please. And if you're on Winneba dashboard, don't go and jump onto KNUST dashboard. Stick with your dashboard so that everybody will have a fair chance. And I think these two projects have prizes. So because they are separate, the prizes too are separate. So there is a prize for the KNUST side and there is a prize for the Winneba side. Winneba, UCC, and all the others, ETAL side. So don't be worried that you are not on the KNUST side, you are not on the Winneba side. No. What is happening at one side is equally happening at your side. So just focus on your side and then work at it. So thank you so much, Ebenezer, for that. I hope it is clear for everybody else. Thank you, Jemima, for clarifying that. Is there any other additions that we want to add? If not, you want to call it a day. Any other additions? I think there are no other additions. So at this point, we are 1 minute to 14:15 GMT. Thank you all so much for joining us for this call. I hope you learned a lot and you've gained the skills you need to partake fully in the WikiData Lexeme's editathon, which will be starting in July. Okay, Jemima says our next workshop is this Friday, this same Friday. That is the 1st of July, I think. Oh no, sorry, that's the 30th of June. So that's the last day in June. So please, if your network was not that good, we are repeating. I think we'll be repeating the training this Friday. So if it wasn't that good and you don't want to spend data in downloading the recording, you can just get some very good network for Friday. Same time, 12:30. We will repeat the training and then you would understand it like some more. If you had some questions that came up later on after we've closed from this meeting, you can equally join us on that call and then you can ask those questions. Okay, but if not, I'm sure the Friday call will also not just be a repeat of the training. I think it will be hey, sorry guys, let me not give you wrong information. I think it's not a repeat of the training. Sorry, the Friday call would be the contest launch. So then you'll be introduced to the dashboards and the Excel sheets and the rules and all that. Please, the Friday workshop is not a repeat of this thing. It is for the launch of the contest. So make sure you don't miss that Friday workshop. Don't say that we are going to repeat this and I've already heard it here, so I won't come. If you don't come to that workshop, please, you would have missed all the contest rules and then the where to find what and all that. Please note this correction. The Friday workshop is to launch the contest. So that is where you will know where your sheet is. Which sheet belongs to KNUST, which sheet belongs to Winneba. You will know where your dashboard is, where to sign your name. You will know the rules, how to win the prize, and then any other information that we'll be sharing with you as a team. So I will repeat this training. The training is done and dusted. Anybody who was not here would have to go to YouTube to go download it or to go watch it on YouTube. Yeah, we'll upload it onto YouTube. Yeah, and for those whose internet was bad, I'm so sorry. You can always go to YouTube and you find the video there. You can follow it and then just understand it. So make sure before Friday, you've gotten some time to just follow it and understand. I'm sure you don't need to play the whole thing, just the parts that you didn't understand. And then it's very simple, you understand it. All right. So at this point, I guess we can call it a day. Thank you so much for joining us and hope to see you on Friday, 12:30, same time. Please don't let us do Ghana time so that we can close early. Okay. All right. Thanks to you all. Bye for me. Bye.